My name is Karina and welcome to the Karina Chronicles. Today I'm going to tell you about the books that I read in August, but I'm also just going to tell about all the books I read for all the subjects of the Spring Equinox of Orilium, just in time before the Autumn Equinox is starting. So yes, that is a whole mouthful. The Orilium Readathon is a readathon hosted by Book Roast G, and she hosts this incredible academy where you can follow subjects, and my character participated in the April equinox, so the first semester of the first year, by reading all these books for subjects back in April. But I read all the books for the subjects that I needed to do to go further in my career, my calling. But I wanted to read all the prompts. And I, of course, couldn't hand them in anymore for points. But I can, of course, try to finish all those books before the next semester in August starts. And that is actually what I did. So I'm going to tell you now which book I read for which subject. And I'm also doing this because I'm pre-filming this video, so I don't exactly know which books I've read in July. Did I just say that it was a wrap-up of August? I did. Well, it's in July. I don't really know yet which books I will read in July, but I still want to upload the video at the normal time. And I am filming this already on the 20th. So I have almost 2 more weeks on which I'm going on holiday, so I will read a lot to finish more books. So I am certain I will, but I can't really talk about them yet. So I'm just going to talk about all the books I've read since April, tell a little bit about them, very short, and about the books that I read in July and I think I will have read in July. So I'm going through the prompts and the subjects of the Spring Equinox in alphabetical order, and I just will mention which book I read for which prompt and subject. And if it's a book that I read in July, I will tell you so. And I will tell a little bit more about it and the rating. So first I read 2 books that were quests. You can try to get a quest via Discord, and then you get a specific prompt that only a few people can do and earn points for. So I got a craftsmage, which is my calling, specific quest. Only 10 people got it, so I was really lucky. And it was the Invisible Gold, and I needed to read a book with gold foil on the cover. And for that I read The Seven Sisters by Lucinda, because it had gold foil on the cover. And another quest that we actually got, it was the House of the Arcane, in which I am. There are 4 houses that are competing, and we won the House Cup that semester. And as a gift, we could read 1 book for 1 quest and earn extra points for our characters. And that was a book with high stakes. That book is actually something that you need to finish before August to get the points, but you didn't have to finish it in April. And for that I'm reading Wormaan by Manika Heitmann. And that is a Dutch book that it has high stakes, because that is the prompt, because a lot of people in the bookstore want to know what the book is about, but no one wants to read it. So I feel like I should, so I can tell people what it is about and if it's worth reading. So that's why it's high stakes. And those are the 2 quests that I actually took on me and that I've read the book for and will read the book for. Wormaan I will definitely finish, because it is like my principal book that I'm taking on a holiday with me, and it's only 250 pages or something. So every time that I have a little bit time to read, we're going on 3 bus trips of 12 hours. I think I am able to finish that book. So as I said, I'm going through them now, through the subjects on alphabetical order. And the first you get to is then alchemy. And for alchemy, the prompt was read a book with romance in there. And I read Normal People by Sally Rooney, a book I wasn't really a fan of. I actually liked the TV series more, but a lot of people like it. I think those people weren't really normal, and the conversations they had also weren't normal. I really didn't like the book. But well, there was romance in there, so I read that. Then the second one was Animal Studies, for which you needed to read a quick read, something that you fly through and can read in one go. And for that I read The Falling in Love Montage by Kiera Smith. This book I actually did really like. It was also a romance between two women, and it was very cliche, but that was the point of the story. They were trying out all cliches and of course fell in love, and it was really cute actually. And these people seem to have a really healthy relationship, which is nice to read about sometimes. And the next one was Art of Illusion. For Art of Illusion you needed to read a book with a trope you really like, and for that I read The Novice by Taran Matharu, because it is actually, well, just a really fantasy. A boy that is trying to figure out what is going on. He is finding his own family. Well, I just really liked it, and I actually kind of afterwards decided for which prompt I was going to read it, because I liked the trope so much, so I thought it fitted this subject. The next one was actually Astronomy, and for Astronomy I needed to read a book that was on top of my TBR, and that's really funny because I chose Sterrenjager by Ian Minkman, which is also fits Astronomy because it's about a star hunter is how it's called. But this book was on top of my TBR because it is a review copy. I haven't yet read it, but I need to read it in July. So it's definitely on top of my TBR. And I will read it this month. I hope before I go on holiday, because I need to have it finished before that, because I need to make a TikTok about it. So yeah, you'll see. So actually there are now some books that are coming that I haven't read yet, and I also don't think I'm going to read them before August. So what is going to happen is that I will still read them in September and count them, because I just want to have this big journal with everything for every subject. So I just don't really like that idea. But everything that I read in August, I of course want to earn points for my house for, so that doesn't count. So everything that I won't finish in July will be postponed to September, then you know. But for Conjuration I needed to read something with light on the cover, so I chose Het Hart van de Adelaar, which is actually a book that has a weird sun on there. It is by Emily Arendt, and I planned on reading this forever, but well, that didn't happen. So I'm going to read it in July, I hope. I hope that one will be still in July. Then for Demonology, I needed to read a book with shadow in the title. I really couldn't find one. And I also didn't really want to buy a new book with shadow in the title to have finished this subject. So I cheated a little bit. I'm going to read All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dower, because All the Light We Cannot See is kind of a shadow, right? But I'm definitely going to read that one in September, because I'm not going to be able to finish it in July, and for August it doesn't really fit the prompt, so yes, that is it. Then for Elemental Studies I needed to read a story under 100 pages. I have a story left that I still need to read, The Houseplant by Jeremy Ray. I really liked his other book, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And therefore I got another of his short stories. It's like 20 pages, so I would be able to finish it in July, but I don't know if I'm going to. But I will be able to, and otherwise in September it will be easy points. So that's nice. Then for Spells and Incantations you needed to read a short story or an essay, for which I read the other book by Jeremy Ray called My Mother's Eyes. I was very surprised about how good this book was, although it was only like 20 pages. Really impressed. So yeah, I read that one for Spells and Incantations. So there are a few more subjects that I needed to read book for, and most of them I actually did already, luckily. The next one was Artificery, for which I needed to read a book in an Earth setting, and I read The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros, which just takes place on Earth and is a very sad book, although it's promoted as a romance. So I was not really happy with that, but it was quite an okay book, an okay read. Then for Inscription, I needed to read an intimidating read, and you could choose any way you wanted why it was intimidating for you. And this book was intimidating to me because it was a review copy and I needed to finish it between all the other things that I was reading. And it's Duisternis by Eva Lindén, which is a Dungeons and Dragons based book, so it really fitted the readathon. And it was a nice book, but I thought it was too clear that it was Dungeons and Dragons based. You could really see when they rolled bad points with their dices or good things, because then something really random happened and I thought that was a bit weird. Then for lore, I needed to write a book that had actually mythology or was mythology inspired, and for that I read De Gifgave by Rani de Vader, because all her books are inspired by Japanese mythology, or well, at least some mythology. I don't really know, but it is based on that. So that was interesting, and I thought it would be fun to read this book for lore then. Then for psionics and deviation, I need to read a book that is set in the future, and that is still a problem because I don't know which book yet. I really don't know. I do have some books still on my shelf that I could read, but none of them actually take place in the future. Well, there is a book. I always read a book for the 3-Body Problem by Cixin Liu every summer. And I now read their whole trilogy, but there is a 4th book written by another author, and kind of continuing right before the very end of book 3. And that's really taking place in future. So I planned on reading it this summer. So maybe that one can be read in September and I can put it here. That would be nice. Then for restoration, I actually needed to read a book with healers in there, and I'm reading Serpent and Dove, which is about witches and they can heal. So yeah, that actually did count. I almost finished it, so that is nice. That book can be done. And then for the last one we have Shapeshifting, for which you needed to read a book with an animal with claws on the cover. And for that I read the whole Chronicles of Narnia, which was quite the challenge. But it worked out and it really fits the prompt well. I was like, something is wrong, because I only talked about Serpent and Dove for a very short time and not about Gallant, which is the only book I actually finished in July up till now. So I was like, how has this happened? And it is because I read actually 2 books for Art of Illusion, because, well, I don't know why. So I am now putting Gallant on the spot that I had All the Light We Cannot See, because Gallant also doesn't have shadow in the title, but it has a shadow on the cover, because it actually is like about a shadow world. So I think I can do that and I will be fine. So then I actually have read something. That is nice. I actually gave this book 3 stars, which is not so great. It was a very nice book. I will think about it very often because it is so original, but it didn't touch me at all. And it took me 3 weeks to read it, while it's only 300 pages. About Serpent and Dove, what I just said, I think it will be a 2-star. Because I really don't like how women are treated in this one. And I know the point is that they stand up for themselves and stuff, but no. It just makes me angry, this book. So those are actually the 2 that I have read up till now. So about which this wrap-up should have been going, but it didn't really. And that was actually it for this video. I know it was very weird. I talked about the 2 books that I read this July, although I didn't even finish Serpent and Dove yet. I talked about all the books I've read since April, which is cool, I think. And I talked about some books that I still want to read in September. So this is the weirdest July wrap-up ever. But I just thought it was fun to show you which books I read for all the subjects of the Orilium Readathon. Next, like tomorrow, I'm going to post my TBR for August, where the next semester of the Orilium Readathon is actually taking place. And for that, I won't read every subject. I will just read the 5 books that I need to read, and the rest I will try to fit into quests or something. I will not read all the prompts. There are like 40 or something. So no, I'm not doing that. Don't worry. So this will be it. I really hope you liked the video. Anyway, please let me know what you've been reading. Do you have any new favorites? I want to know. And if you did like the video, please leave a like. If you subscribe to my channel and you click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you will have a lovely day filled with books, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! This was such a chaotic video, but I am just so excited about this Orilium Readathon if you hadn't noticed yet. And I just can't wait to start again in August. Are you joining as well?